Story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Thank you for joining us on CoreTV News at 7. I am Frank Omalape, and here are some of the stories we're filing at this time. And two suicide bombers have attacked a crowded market in Maiduguri, killing scores of people. Eyewitnesses, however, said at least 30 people were killed in the twin explosion, and the people among the market security forces have confirmed the blast, but indicate that it may be too early to know the casualty figure. This is the first bombing incident in Maiduguri in recent times, as most of the insurgent activities have been on the fringes. Senators have in the last 5 hours been grilling service chiefs on the security situation in the northeast Nigeria. The closed-door session, which began at about 11:30 a.m., had the Chief of Army Staff, Kenneth Minima, Chief of Air Staff Adeshola Mosu, and the Director General of the Department of State Service Itai Young in attendance. The senators had, after failing to reach a decision on President Goodluck Jonathan's request for a further extension of emergency rule in the Northeast, summoned the service chiefs to give an update on the situation in Northeast states. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police Suleiman Abba has failed to turn up at the Senate in response to summons from the Senate to explain the police siege on the National Assembly last week, Thursday. The IGP, who had also earlier failed to turn up for a similar summons, was to have briefed the Senate in the company of the service chiefs on the situation in the Northeast and also explain why the police launched an attack on the National Assembly last week. Now, reactions have not ceased to trail last Thursday's siege on the National Assembly by the police, the Ekiti lawmakers' impeachment saga, and the invasion of the data office of the APC in Lagos. Chairman House Committee on Public Accounts Solomon Olamilekun Adeola, who also participated in the Abuja show of shame, defended his colleague's action. He wants the executive arm of government to refrain from interfering with the House of Representatives.
What happened at the National Assembly is an eyesore because that's a separate arm of government. There are 3 arms of government: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. The legislature is independent of the executive and the judiciary. And as such, for that siege that has happened, is another arm of government intruding into another arm of government entirely. So, we're able to checkmate that. We're able to tell Nigerians that democracy has come to stay and it has come to stay for good. And it is not something that will be subverted by any single individual, whosoever his or her position is in this country. House of Representative, which was the main focus, is a house of one big family. We are together. A lot of defection has happened in recent past, and nothing has been done. This was not different from any other defection. And as such, the court has said, let the status quo remain. And it is only the court that can interpret what or who can differ from one party to the other. And until that is done, the status quo remain. But on this very, very sound note, the executive should stay clear of the legislature.
As Nigerians continue to react to last Thursday's siege on the National Assembly by the police, a member of the House of Representatives who saw it all has called on Nigerians to look beyond fence scaling by his colleagues. He says the lawmakers did what is expected to keep democracy running. A correspondent, Rashid, tells us more.
For many Nigerians, the drama which played out at the National Assembly last Thursday is still a shock. The barricading of the National Assembly complex by the police and the scaling of fence by the lawmakers has led deep wound into many hearts. In his eyewitness account, Bimbo Daramola, a member of the House of Representatives, says the speaker was actually barred from entering the complex.
I was there when the speaker said, "My name is Amin Waziri Tambuwal. Will you please open the gate and let me go and preside?" And the guy just had his phone to his ears, and he was just talking. And Nigerians are not looking at that. That's number 4 man. And Nigerians are taking the slant and the spin of members engaging in decorous of scaling the fence.
But what really was the motive behind what many have termed a show of shame?
What was planned that day was to have the speaker kept outside. They have already demanded for the mace. They have activated Emeka Yedioa to go and preside because I've been laying excuse that the speaker wasn't around, and then Emeka will preside, and then they will do kangaroo something, and then they will rule that the speaker is suspended or impeached, and then they will say go to court.
Members of the Green Chamber who scaled the fence, according to Daramola, are heroes of democracy.
That day, democracy was at the barricades. It was actually democracy that was barricaded. And that time called for people who could be decisive in favor of the people and in favor of this democracy that a lot of people have fought for. And that was why members had to take that extreme decision. It may be indecorous, but it was an ultimately demanding situation.
There have been several justifications and condemnations of the show of shame, which has remained a dent on the political image of Nigeria. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
The Department of State Security has admitted raiding an office belonging to the All Progressive Congress, but claims there were no signs that it was a party office. DSS spokesperson Marilyn Oga disclosed in a statement issued in Abuja that the raid was based on a petition that permanent voter cards were being cloned in the building located in Ikeja, Lagos. She confirmed that a number of arrests were made while DSS operatives retrieved a server, 3 hard drives and 31 bags of hard copies of data which have been analyzed. Oga added that investigations have begun to determine whether the allegations in the petitions are true or not. Meanwhile, the national leadership of the All Progressive Congress is not leaving anything to chance concerning last weekend attack on its offices in Lagos. The party at a meeting with journalists in Lagos described the invasion of its database center as a premeditated attack. A correspondent Oluwaseyi Adegoke was at the briefing and filed this report.
Operatives of the DSS and soldiers attached to the unit stormed the Lagos APC office last Saturday and vandalized everything in sight. They claimed that they received a petition that the office was being used to clone INEC's permanent voter cards. The authorities of the DSS also confirmed this position, a development the National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Lai Mohammed, described as very disturbing, especially in democracy.
This is clearly a premeditated invasion aimed at destabilizing the APC. See, even from the location of this office and from the activities going on there, nothing but, compiling a database. They did it, of course, it was programmed for 3 reasons. 1, to ensure that we have no database, so we cannot even contact our people. We don't even know our strengths. 2, now that they have in their possession our database, everything in their possession, it's easy for them to use this to rig elections, because it's a matter of knowing exactly where is our strength and then depriving such people of the permanent voters cards. Or on election day, making sure that electoral materials don't arrive early enough or at all in those areas. And of course, finally, is further evidence of desperation of this government.
Dismissed claim by the DSS that the office in question did not carry any inscription to show it belonged to the APC, adding that there is no place in the law for the excuse.
Is there any law in Nigeria that says I must put a signboard in front of my office, in front of my house, as long as what I'm doing there is legal and lawful? And for God's sake, what were we doing here? We were trying to develop our database. Are we now going to put APC signboard there so that everybody will come in and disturb them. And if you have a good intelligence gathering organization and you do not rely on beer parlor rumor, you should know what is going on here. I don't think it's an excuse that because they don't have the APC, signboard there. I know many corporate organizations. You do not find their names where they are doing their research and policy, where they are doing their research and documentation of work. Of course, we don't have to put APC. This is not an APC party office. This is an APC resource center where we compile our database.
The APC urged all Nigerians to stop what it called an act of impunity embarked upon by the Jonathan administration. Oluwaseyi Adegoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The federal government has admitted that electricity power generation is fluctuating between 3,750 and 4,500 megawatts, but it's convinced that it could still meet its year-end target of 5,500 megawatts. Minister of Power Chinedu Nebo says the government is seeking options to boost power supply and also raise hope of better gas supply to the power plants. He was speaking at a ministerial briefing on the power sector scorecard of the Jonathan administration in Abuja.
Next, when will people start enjoying full power? It will take time. People are asking me to give time and time and time. I can't because there are so many determinants. Some people will get full power supply very soon. Others will get near full. Others will get incremental, power supply, and so on, until it goes round. But it's going to take a little while when everybody gets it. Because not only in the generation, you have to make sure that the transmission network is in place. And you have to make sure that the distribution network is in place.
You're watching CoreTV News at 7. We'll take a break at this time. We'll be back with more stories after this time out. Join us again.
Welcome you to From the Ivory Tower. And happenings around the country, varsity teachers get to air their views. Students are actually not left out. We bring you intellectual ends from the events happening around you. This is dedicated to educating the populace with a spice of entertainment.
From the Ivory Tower, Tuesdays, only on CoreTV News.
For our updates on our news and other program, visit our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can also log on to our Twitter handle at CoreTV News NG. And for our previous production, log on to youtube.com/CoreTV David Space, the news. The Ekiti State Police Command has paraded chairman of the Oodua People's Congress in the state, Niyi Adedipe, in connection with the murder of former Nigerian Union of Road Transport Workers and PDP stalwart Omolafe Aderie, who was killed on the 25th of September this year. The police command also paraded suspect accused of armed robbery.
Detectives of the command have also arrested one Adeniyi Adedipe, aka Apashe, for conspiracy and murder of Chief Omolafe Aderie, former chairman of National Union of Road Transport Workers and staunch member of the People's Democratic Party in Ekiti, who was assassinated on 25 September 2014 in front of his private office located at Federal Polytechnic Road, Ado Ekiti. The available direct and circumstantial evidence stated the arrest and prosecution of the suspects.
The Commissioner of Police, however, assures the people of Ekiti of all-round security protection while appealing to them for cooperation.
The command shall continue to partner with relevant stakeholders to sustain the peace in the state. I also want to use this medium to appeal to the good people of Ekiti State to embrace peace and report to the police any suspicious activities around them.
The arrest of Adedipe has added to the growing tweets surrounding the high-profile killing of Aderie. Still in Ekiti, the Ekiti State chapter of the All Progressive Congress has begun the screening of 8 aspirants for the National Assembly ahead of the 2015 general election. The screening venue had incumbent National Assembly members seeking re-election and those aspiring to take over from them also facing the 7-man panel which will decide their eligibility to contest the party's primary. A correspondent, Rashid was there and filed this report.
The atmosphere around the screening venue may go for a research center as aspirants were seen engaged in games while the real grilling was being conducted inside, where they face the screening panel that decides their eligibility for the APC primaries. This senatorial aspirant speaks on the conduct of the screening.
Screening here, I will have to say that I've tested other parties. I've tested PDP, I've tested APC, but I can say APC is an organized party, where there is transparency, there is diligence, integrity maintained, and they're also time conscious. I think we in APC, we are people, and we are going to change things and move this country forward.
These aspirants also expressed their minds on how to avert what they described as a plague ravaging the APC in the past.
I just finished my screening now, and everything went pretty well. I'm ready to roll for the primary now, because I have done my screening and everything, it's okay.
That there will be a transparent primary. And it's the first time I think that our party is really putting in a lot of effort into ensuring that this primaries is transparent. We're still in the process, and I'm praying and I believe that the process will go full circle.
Not minding the fact that the APC is in the opposition in Ekiti State, some aspirants also express optimism on the expected performance of the party at the general elections.
The kind of organization that exists within our party, APC, so I'm very confident that this screening will produce very credible results for all of us.
The political goons who are in the aims of machinations of replicating crisis within Nigeria operates within Ekiti and the National. I'm very seasoned in this game legislature. PDP has gotten to its highest point in Nigeria, and it's about that time it comes back down.
There is, however, a wind of anxiety blowing among the aspirants as the screening continues. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
Former head of state Muhammad Buhari is optimistic that he will be the flag bearer of the All Progressive Congress in the 2015 general election. He expressed his conviction after submitting his presidential nomination form at the party's national secretariat in Abuja. The retired general handed over the duly complete form to the APC national chairman, John Oyegun.
Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for making yourself available to this important occasion. I thought my home should come not on the last day of submission, but somewhere maybe in the first 3. But I was told that it has to be submitted today. If I knew I would submit it today, I would have been gorgeously dressed like Senator or distinguished senator on my right. But I have to come in this. I don't regret it because all efforts to look young has to be done. So I think somehow the dress is good enough. And distinguished chairman, please accept this form. This is the form that will deliver me to that well-protected place surrounded by the rocks. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure, General, to receive you, because what you've done today is a confirmation that you are serious for the race. If you pick a form and you don't return it, we are not sure yet that you mean business. But I'm glad that the form is here, and you are the third aspirant that has confirmed his continuation in the presidential race. So I greet you and I wish you the very best.
Ahead of the 2015 general elections, stakeholders in politics and governance are calling for a renewed drive in creating an enabling environment for increased and effective participation of women. This was the consensus at the opening of a two-day national conference on women and elections in Abuja tagged Enhancing Opportunities for Women Candidates in the 2015 elections. They say not much has been done to ensure gender balance since the 2011 elections and are demanding a change in a political arrangement which favors men to the detriment of women.
As we plan for the 2015 elections, however, the challenges are great. Nigeria's ranking in women political participation has declined considerably. It now ranks 102 in the world, a significant slide from 89 in just 5 years, according to the World Economic Forum's annual report of 142 countries. To a greater extent, a nation's progress depends on the progress of women. The strength of democracy depends on the participation of women, and the vibrancy on economies depends on the contribution of women. When women's potential are not tapped, our societies are short-changed.
There is the need to create the enabling environment to enhance women's active participation in all areas of development. We must, as women, begin to aggressively unite, network, and build alliances across gender divides in order to secure meaningful change. My dear sisters, let the voices of women be heard loudly, because we have the right to be heard, and we have the right to participate fully in the socioeconomic and political life of our various communities.
You're still watching CoreTV News at 7. We'll take another break now. I'll be back with more stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Glad to have you back now. Outside Nigeria, U.S. town of Ferguson has seen rioting and looting after a jury decided not to bring charges over the killing of a black teenager. Michael Brown was shot by a white police officer at Darren Wilson on 9 August, sparking protests. The police chief said violence in the suburb of St. Louis, Missouri was probably much worse than on any night since the teenager's death. St. Louis County Police Chief John Belmer said rioters had fired 150 shots. Many in the African-American community had called for Wilson to be charged with murder, but following lengthy deliberations, a Missouri grand jury of 9 white and 3 black members made no recommendation of charges. Barack Obama had on Monday joined the teenager's family in appealing for calm, urging Americans to accept the decisions the grand jury was to make. Reports say more vandalism and looting has occurred in Ferguson after Monday's ruling than on any night in August. Police made 29 arrests as protesters attacked them and property in the town, looting shops. Well, and that's a wrap on CoreTV News at 7. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalape. Don't forget, join us at 9:45 for our primetime bulletins. Good evening.